Hey, this is Andrea, and I wanted to make a short video showing how I prepare for the upcoming elections. This is probably not the way that everybody does it, but I just thought I'd share the way that I do it. First of all, you've probably, if you live in the U.S., you probably got a whole bunch of these kind of mailings that you get in the mail. I don't really look at these, except for sometimes I'll look at the ones that say terrible things because I want to know who is this person sending out terrible things. But other than that, that's not the way that I choose who I'm going to vote for. So what I get is I get some paper and a pen, and I get my computer. Let me show you. So the first website I like to use is the one set up by the League of Women Voters. Okay, first thing I look up is the League of Women Voters. Okay, so if you put in League of Women Voters, this is the address that it's going to be at, www.lwv.org. I've used this forever because it actually shows, well, you'll see in a minute. You don't have to be a woman to use it, obviously. So what you want to do is you want to click on elections and vote 411, vote information. Vote 111, or okay. So actually there's a site that lets you pick who you can, that lets you see who you're going to vote for by where you live is on vote411.org. It's run by the League of Women Voters. So you want www.vote411.org. So in here you put your address. I'm going to put a fake address in there. So let me look up an address. I'm going to put an address that's not mine. Let's put it down. So then when you get your address in there, which this is for a brewing company in Philadelphia, you hit enter. Okay, so it tells me my election date is Tuesday, November 6th, which I already know. I'm already registered. Okay, you had to have registered by October 9th, 2018. I registered years ago. So you can verify your registration status here. You can look at your polling. It gives you the address of your local polling place. But here's what we want. Get personalized information on candidates and issues. Okay. So your guide has 5 races. So for this area, there's 5 races. Let's look at the governor. So this shows me the 4 people who are running for governor. Okay. Here's the Republican candidate, Scott Wagner, and here's the Democratic candidate, Tom Wolf. I don't know what the L and the GRN mean, so I'm sorry about that. So it says, to compare 2 candidates, click the compare button. To start over, click on a candidate icon. Okay, well, where's the compare button? Let's look at this guy. Oh, okay, here we go. So let's compare him with this guy here. Okay, here it gives biographical information and their qualifications. This stuff is mostly stuff that's provided by the campaigns to them, okay? So they ask them questions. What are your priorities? You can look through this. See what you agree with, what you don't agree with. Do you support reforming our congressional and legislative redistricting processes to implement independent citizens redistricting commission? Why or why not? Yeah, this has to do with stuff that's going to come up in a couple of years. So once you see these things, though, the important parts for me are, here's some of the important parts. They have their website here. You can go look at their websites. Okay. if you want to look at the history of how they've voted on different things, like I can say Scott R. Wagner. Well, let's go look at his website first of all. So it opens a new page, and here's Scott Wagner for governor, okay? And you can read about him here. But this is all stuff that they put on there. So what I like to do is I'll open another window and go into Google, and I'll put Scott Wagner voting record. Okay, so here's information on his key votes from votesmart.org. Okay, so we can look on here and we can see when he was in the state senate, Pennsylvania state senate, how he voted on these different bills. Okay, so you don't have to look through each thing, but you could be like, okay, what things are important to me? Okay, authorizes terminally ill patients to use experimental treatments. Well, if that's important to me, then I want to see, what did he vote? Did he yay, nay? Look, here he sponsored a bill. He sponsored or co-sponsored this bill, establishes prescription drug formulary for injured employees. So if you want to know what that's all about, then you can click on that. Okay, and it shows you the vote results, and here's the highlights down here. Here's the synopsis. Vote to pass a bill that requires a prescription drug formulary for injured employees in the state workers' compensation program. If you just want to look at how they voted on certain things, you know, certain types of things, this is how you would look. So that's Scott Wagner. Now, if I want, where was I back here? Okay, so Paul Glover, I don't know what he has done before. Let's see what he's done before. He's for the Green Party. Okay, that's what GRN is. It doesn't look like there's a lot on here. Key issues. Does it say what he's done in the past? So if I look up Paul Glover, okay. If I look up Paul Glover voting history, well, it looks like he doesn't have a voting history because nothing, it doesn't seem like anything's coming up, but let's see. There's something about Paul Glover. It says there's books by him, so let's see what books he's written. Hello? Health Democracy. So let's see if it's listed in by Paul Glover. Oh, here we go. Paperback. Liberating Americans from Medical Insurance. Okay, so if you wanted to know more about what he thinks about medical insurance, you could read that. It seems like nobody here has read this. It's hard to find information. I'm having a hard time finding information about him, so that's not to say it's not out there. It's just difficult for me to find, and that might be something that someone who's running for office would want to make easier. So, okay, so now let's look at, we'll look at compare Tom Wolfe. Wait a minute, no, we want to compare Tom Wolfe. Okay, yes, so Tom Wolfe, he is the governor right now. And so you can look at the things that his campaign office has answered these questions, you know, like what are your top 3 priorities in office, this is typical stuff. You can go to his page, which here is Wolfe for PA. I don't want that, so let's see. Of course, all the things on here are going to be pro things. He might have his voting history on here, but I'm going to go back to, so you can look at, here's Vote Smart, key votes record. You can look here. So this is votesmart.org. They're going to have information. So this shows, you know, information on stuff that he signed. So this shows what he signed and what he vetoed. So he signed establishes protection for juvenile human trafficking victims, authorized speed cameras in work zones. Let's go back to voting 411 and my personal ballot for that area. And these are the people running for governor. Like I said, so what I would do is I'd get a fresh piece of paper right here. I'd get a fresh piece of paper and I'd on the names. Sometimes I would just write the name of the person that I want to vote for and why. So say I wanted to vote for Tom Wolfe, or maybe I don't know who I want to vote for yet. So let's put Tom Wolfe and Scott Wagner. I'm just giving a suppose, okay? So I write Tom Wolfe and Scott Wagner. I might put that this is the Republican. Oops, he's not the Republican, sorry. Whoops. I might put that he's the Democrat and he's the Republican. And I might write a couple of things here why I'm interested in this guy. Or I might put pros, cons, pros, cons. This is if I haven't decided yet. So I'd write those things down so I could think about it longer. If I already decided, then I would only write the name of the person that I'm voting for. So, okay, so let's go back to view my races. So I would then go through each of these in a similar fashion, okay? And I'd write down on my paper who I'm going to vote for, or if I didn't know, I'd put the pros and cons of the two people I was thinking of. And then I would take that paper with me when I vote, okay? I've talked to other people about the way they vote, and sometimes it's because they really like a particular candidate, or they feel strongly about a subject that that candidate has talked about in their ads, and they'll go by the ads. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I have to write things down and know exactly why I'm voting for the person I'm voting for, and then I bring the paper in with me. But I think that's important to vote in any way that you choose. I think it's best to be an informed voter, whatever your method of being an informed voter is. I'm sure mine is not the only way, but I just wanted to share that information with you. So I hope you'll go out and vote on Tuesday, November 6th this year. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.